So Rebuild asks, does verbalizing the problem help you write better code? Is it like pair programming? I know my answer to that, but what's your take on that after having done a few of these?
For me, it absolutely does. It is literally rubber ducking live. I mean, you're kind of just restating the problem over and over and over. And um, I found myself saying out loud things like, okay, what am I trying to figure out here? And that's not a false question. That's true. I'm actually trying to think like, what is the nugget of this problem, and what's the simplest way that I can prove that it is a problem? And when I say stuff like that out loud, it really does hone like my thinking space to, I could think about anything, but right now I'm speaking. What am I trying to figure out? And then I can answer it and then write the code that answers that question.
Yeah, and I think that too. It's anytime you're talking out loud, which is the whole reason that rubber ducking existed in the first place. Just talking out loud to something is helpful when you're thinking this stuff through. But then when you have chat answering you, that's even better. When you say, "What am I trying to figure out?" and chat says, "You're trying to figure this out." Oh yeah, that's brilliant. I love it. Um, so one of the things that I wanted to ask too, I see I have my opinions on where the value is for these type of streams. What do you think is the value, both to you and outside of you?
Yeah. So I've thought about this quite a bit. And I think there are a couple different answers. Some of them are more calculated than others. I think the most calculated one is there aren't a lot of developers streaming. And so if you can be in early at a place where there's not a lot of developers, who knows what's going to happen, but you're not competing against the whole world. I mean, even like if you go look at like, I don't even know what the Twitch category is, but it's like software or something like that. If you go look at the people streaming, there are a couple big dogs and then kind of a long tail, but the long tail's not that long. But then you niche it down to whatever like category you're going to be in. So for me it's Laravel. There are hardly any Laravel people live streaming. So there's like the Primogen and TJ DeVries and Rockstar, and they're all doing their big streams, doing all kinds of stuff. But you look at the Laravel live streams, and it's like a guy named Alex and maybe two or three others, and it's like I kind of know all of them. And for a community as big as Laravel to have like one handful of people streaming is kind of crazy to me. And so I think that's some of the value for me is that I can try I can try to be early to a space and hopefully provide some stuff that I think is interesting, if not entertaining. I think it's both. I try to make it both. I guess y'all tell me. But then I think there's also, oh, what do you have pulled up here?
This
Yeah,
is
you have the
this is
kind of
what's
the
currently streaming in software and game development. That's it.
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, and so when there are, let's say, 5 or 10 Laravel or Rails developers, it's going to be hit or miss like throughout the week. Most of the time there's not going to be content for people that want to watch Laravel or Rails or whatever. And so I think that is kind of like an opportunity for people that want to stream. You're not competing against a whole lot, and that lowers the pressure a whole lot. um i also think um I also think it's good for, like, it's really, really good practice for me, and just like public speaking, live coding. Like, I feel like that is always a good thing, a good skill for me to be building.
yeah,
Um, but it's also, I think, somewhat it's like community building a little bit, because yes, there aren't a lot of people streaming, but there are a lot of people apparently that want to watch people stream. And so if you're like if you're willing to kind of brave the elements and go out and stream yourself, a whole group of people is going to come around and be like, hey, I'll watch this, let's chat, let's hang out. And I think that's good for these communities to have little watering holes where people are doing interesting things and other people can come and glom on and just like talk about it and make friends and learn new things. And the learning goes both ways. Like you said, I was trying to do something on stream, last week or the week before. Sorry, COVID still. And I had no idea what to do. And the chat was like, literally copy and paste this line that I'm going to send you because this is how you do it. It was something with Docker and I was in way over my head. And they're like, dude, just do it this way. And I was like, thank you so much. And so I think there's a lot of value for these communities like Laravel or Rails or Vue or React or whatever. There's a lot of value for these communities to like have some fun and hang out and see some content. And I don't want what I really don't want is the only content to be coming from like 2 or 3 people. And so the more people that we can get producing this kind of content, I think the more comfortable people are going to feel to produce this kind of content and to try this kind of thing. And like if you log on and nobody is streaming Rails, it's like, oh, that's too bad. I wanted to watch some Rails. But if you log on and there are 10 people streaming Rails and 1 or 2 of them match kind of your personality or maybe your background, or they look like you or sound like you're going to feel more confident to be like, yeah, this is a place for me. Like I can hang out here. This is cool. And so I think having more, just like encouraging more people to just, take the leap into the unknown and stream, I think is good just for the community in general.
Yeah.
If you like this clip and want to watch another one, you can click right here. Or if you want to watch the full video, you can click here.